Welcome to Two Drink Maximum. I'm your host, Shane.
I'm your other host, Chase.
Good to be with you, Chase.
Glad to be here. It's the new year.
It is indeed. It's the new year.
Got to change all our calendars and start writing a 6 at the end of all our dates.
Indeed. How long do you think it's going to be before you screw that up and you write 2025?
I don't think. Well, no, that's not true. I typed it once yesterday.
See, already messed it up. Yeah.
Your fingers get in the habit of typing 2-5, and then you're
Exactly.
like, oh, damn.
I'm getting pretty good now when I write it down. I force myself to do the new number, but anytime I type, I'll generally do. Yeah, it'll be like a month before I get it.
It takes a day or two, or somebody to remind me and be like, yeah, we didn't have this conversation last year.
Exactly. Well, I mean, as mentioned, 2025 is coming to a close, and our season of Two Drink Maximum is coming to a close. Season 4 is coming to a close. So we thought, as a final episode for the season, for the year, it would be fun to do kind of a 2025 Season 4 year in review episode.
Yes.
So we thought we would take the listeners through some of our favorite things this year, some of the more memorable moments of our season and through the year. And so hopefully you guys will chime in and let us know what we got right, what we got wrong.
Yes, you can complain all you like after we post this.
Yeah.
Give us your own review. I've gone down a rabbit hole of Stranger Things just wrapped up, as our previous episode discussed. So many people are upset about that. So the internet loves to talk about everything and every opinion possible. So we hope you will engage with us as we give you a few of our favorite things from 2025.
Indeed. Well, let's start with a pretty easy topic. You and I are both movie fanatics. We have been for as long as we can remember. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about our favorite movies of 2025.
Yes. I guess I'll go first.
Yes.
My favorite movie is going to come from the popular streamer Netflix, currently attempting to buy Warner Brothers and becoming the only media company in the world.
Yep.
Second to Disney. However, they did release a wonderful movie here in 2025. Well, wonderful with an asterisk. I'll put that on there. My favorite movie of 2025, up until the last 2 minutes, was House of Dynamite.
Yeah, I was going to say, that movie doesn't seem like it's a fun watch. Admittedly, I have not watched it yet.
It's really great, amazing cast, wonderful story.
Yeah, Bigelow directed it, right?
Catherine Bigelow.
Yep.
So you're revisiting some Hurt Locker themes and tones going on there. It's very intense. It's very interesting. A lot of amazing acting from everyone in the film.
Yeah.
But it leaves you on a really, really bummer of a note.
Yeah.
Not the bummer you would think, but it does. Whatever. The story follows a potential nuclear attack.
Right.
Coming from some unknown country overseas. And then you follow through different levels of the government, different parts of the military and bureaucracy dealing with this.
Yeah.
And you revisit that moment in 3 or 4 different segments throughout the film from different perspectives of the same moment, getting a little bit more of the story each time. However, and there's a very big creative choice on their end, at the very end of the film, it does just drop cold. Like, the moment where the big decision must happen is about to happen, and then, boom, cut to black, cut to credits.
It's Sopranos ending.
Yeah, but in the most annoying, unfulfilling way.
I see.
There's a way to do that in films, and then I actually watched another one after that, the Christian Bale, Edgar Allan Poe detective movie.
Cold Blue Eyes or something like that.
Yeah. It does something very, very similar at the end of that movie, but what
Yeah.
it does is the plot that it introduced you to, it does resolve that plot and then adds an additional cliffhanger, a literal cliffhanger at the end of that Pale Blue Eyes. But House of Dynamite, that's my only note. Everything else in the movie is damn near perfect. But that end was so unfulfilling that it ruined the entire experience for me. Like, all the goodwill that it built up, I was like, wow, this is intense, this is amazing. Like, whoa, 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 every single moment of the thing, and then it's just done. Which, again, possible thematic choice, because, again...
refuses to give you answers.
Yes, it makes you choose your own ending, as it were.
Yeah.
And I guess if you're discussing a nuclear apocalypse, once that happens, everything's over. It doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
So I get it, but I felt like there was me giving notes to Catherine Bigelow. I felt like there was a little bit more that could.
And another thing, Kathy.
Yeah, right. That Academy Award you got, and forget that. Fix the movie for me. But it is worth a watch. It is good. You may have a different reaction than I had with it, and obviously audiences have loved it, and it's had a lot of chatter online. And
my dad likes the movie so much he's watched it more than once, which is kind of a rare feat.
That's
for him.
crazy.
So you're not the first person to tell me that I need to watch this movie.
Which
it is
is
on my list.
Impressive, because the movie itself makes you watch it like 4 times in a row. You're getting the same moment again and again and again. Again, different perspectives.
Sure.
So it feels different, but there's not a whole lot of. There's like 25 minutes of plot in that movie, as far as I'm concerned. But do check it out. Don't let my feelings on the end of things stop anybody from watching it. it's certainly a very cool and very politically relevant discussion to have, and given current geopolitics in the world.
Yeah.
And it's very, very well done.
Yeah.
All up until the last 2 minutes. So,
It's funny that your favorite movie, you don't like the ending of the movie, though. That's funny.
I mean, yeah, a little bit of shades of 2025. Lots of good things.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
one
so
really
bad. Yeah.
awful thing of great.
Fair enough.
What about you? What was your favorite movie? of
Well, I mean,
2025?
I know that this is not in keeping with the spirit of the list we agreed upon, but I'm cheating a little bit here. I have a few quick honorable mentions, and then I
Okay.
will talk about my favorite. Two movies that I just wanted to discuss. One, I feel like it kind of came and went, and it kind of I don't think it hit streaming. It actually came out in theaters, but it kind of quickly disappeared, and it shouldn't have. It's a movie directed by Steven Soderbergh called Black Bag.
Okay.
And it stars Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett, as well as some others. It's got a pretty impressive cast list.
It's a spy thriller.
It's a spy thriller, but it's also kind of like a sexual thriller as well. I mean, there's like a lot of like, it's a sexy movie. I mean, both Michael
Oh, this is
Fassbender
the like shades of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. kind of
yes,
thing.
very much so. Because Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett play husband and wife. They both work for the CIA, and there's a mole, and so they're trying to figure out who the mole is, and kind of there's a lot of like. There's 2 dinner party scenes in the movie. And if I were to tell you that dinner party scenes would be riveting, you wouldn't believe me. But there's a dinner party scene in this that is one of the most riveting
I mean, I think
10 minutes in cinema this year.
Fassbender and Cate Blanchett eating are pretty compelling.
Yes.
Just by themselves. Just,
They're great. And it's just a movie that, Soderbergh is obviously one of the all-time greats. And I think he had 2 movies this year, or maybe he had one at the very late last year and then the early this year. So it just didn't get the kind of cultural recognition that it deserves, but it's really, really done. It's tight. I think the movie's under 90 minutes, and it's just a really, really well done story. The acting, the writing, the directing, the craftsmanship of the movie, top notch.
Okay,
definitely worth.
I'll
your
have to
chance.
check it out.
I don't know if it's on a streaming service currently, but it's definitely worth the $3.99 or whatever it costs to just rent it on whatever streaming service you prefer.
Okay, I will check that one out.
Second honorable mention, this one I'm sure you've heard of if you haven't seen it already. F1, the Apple movie distributed by Warner Brothers starring Brad Pitt. This is just what I'm looking for in a movie is just give me access to something that I don't have access to. Take me away from my life and put me in somebody else's. F1 is just a cool sport that obviously is very dangerous. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of teamwork involved. And I mean, I'm going to say a very controversial statement here. Brad Pitt, what a movie star. I mean, just, you just watch Brad Pitt be a movie star for 2 hours. Yeah. He's still coming up a little bit. But you just watch Brad Pitt, be a movie star for 2 hours. You can't take your eyes off him. He's so magnetic and charming. And it's just, and the Joseph Kosinski, the guy who directed it, also directed Top Gun Maverick. Mm-hmm. They invented all these new ways to strap cameras onto these cars, and you really feel like it's pulse pounding action. Like you feel like you're in the driver's seat. Nice. And it's awesome. I mean, the screenplay did not reinvent the screenplay genre. It's a sports movie, right? I mean, it's, but it's pulse pounding, and it's when I go to see a movie on a big screen, that's what I'm looking for.
That sounds awesome. Had you heard anything about the potential crossover with Days of Thunder?
I'm super in on that, man. Let's bring Tom Cruise into this.
Hell yeah.
Cole Trickle, right? Like, let's bring him in. I mean, it'll be great. Michael Rooker can come back too.
And what's his name if he's still alive?
Yeah.
The old coach.
Robert Duvall.
Yes, Robert Duvall.
It did. Apologies to Robert Duvall, but I think he passed a year ago.
Oh, no.
Really? Or maybe not. Maybe I'm missing it.
Yeah, he was just in a thing that I saw.
Yeah.
Well, they, of course, could have filmed that previously, but whatever.
Probably.
Bring him back as it goes. CGI Robert Duvall.
CGI Robert Duvall. Yeah. But no, F1 was great. And that's what, I mean, it's a popcorn movie through and through, but it's like, that's what I want when I go to the movies. But my favorite movie of the year is it's weird. This usually doesn't happen all that often. That my favorite movie of the year is also what I consider to be the best movie of the year. Because those are two kind of different things.
Okay.
But I was legitimately blown away by how great Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another was. Again, Leonardo DiCaprio being a movie star, doing what he does. But Paul Thomas Anderson's last couple of efforts have been a little underwhelming for me. I know that might be. I mean, Licorice Pizza was fine. Inherent Vice, I did not care for.
You've got a lot of fanboys. That you
Phantom
just
Thread,
mad.
I thought was fine. You know what I mean? But One Battle After Another, I was like, he's back, baby. He's making good movie. I mean, I loved it. I thought the movie was. I mean, it had a point. It had something to say, which is always kind of satisfying when you're watching a movie. And it's not based off of any IP. It's an original story. It's it's a completely new thing. DiCaprio crushes it as kind of like a middle-aged stoner dad who's like an ex-revolutionary who is still kind of getting into it. And the other thing too for me is, you and I both work in the industry. Mm-hmm. We know how the sausage is made, as it were. And so it takes a lot, or I should say it's a rare phenomenon when the magic of movie making kind of leaps off the screen. And watching the car chase that happens in the last 20 minutes of the movie, I was like, I felt electric. I was just like, yes, like this is cinema, baby. Like I was so into it. It was great. It's a longer film, but it's and it can be a little bit off-putting.
It was jarring for a lot of the right reasons, though.
Yes, for a lot of the right reasons. Sean Penn is great in it. Newcomer Chase Infinity is really good. Tiona Taylor, who I believe has been in some other stuff, but she was new to me, also really good in the movie. But I just thought that movie was incredible, and it's like I cannot wait to watch it again. But I think it's actually the Best Picture frontrunner. So
Okay.
I'm really not choosing it because of that. That was my favorite movie of the year because it was new, it's fresh, it's not based off IP, and it's just great to watch a master filmmaker do his or her thing. You know?
Okay, well, something that was not on either of our lists, but I feel like we must talk about just because of the splash it's made, the splash it's made in the world, is the Avatar, the most recent Avatar, Fire and Ash. We actually got to see this together.
We did.
So I was curious what your quick review of Avatar would be. It's already on track to make $1 billion.
$1 billion
again,
and it will make James Cameron the first filmmaker in cinema history that has made 4 pictures in a row that have each made $1 billion,
which is incredible.
Incredible. That's a feat that I don't think anybody else will ever achieve.
Do you think he gets tired of it?
No, I don't think it. Truly, the thing is, I don't even think it. I don't think he cares anymore.
Yeah.
I think he wants to make a movie, and when he makes the movie, he's like, "Good, that's it, I'm done." You
I
know?
think he reads it and he's like, I get to go down to the Titanic again.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he's like. I get to spend the next 8 months of my life
and the
underwater.
Marianas Trench. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna film a movie in. Why hasn't he done that yet? You think he would?
Yeah, well, he did make that one documentary called like Ghosts of the Abyss or
Oh, yeah.
something that was like, I mean, it was all like underwater, like real underwater film. Yeah, but my review of Avatar, I mean, again, is kind of well documented. I think the story arc, the screenplay of it is not really the strongest. I think it's pretty well wrote territory where there's well-worn tire tracks we're going down.
There's like 4 or 5 writers, including him.
And James Cameron has not really ever been the best at exposition and setting those things up. He's not necessarily the best dialogue writer. So just from that perspective, it feels like we covered a lot of this in the first movie. It feels like we covered a lot of this in the second movie. So it does feel like you're getting kind of new helpings of, of like new servings of the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
But from a technical perspective, the craftsmanship that goes into
Incredible.
the sound design, the cinematography, the visual effects, there is no one working at this level today. And once you watch a movie like this, it's hard to go back and watch like CGI slop, like some really bad CGI stuff. Because there were sequences, and I was saying earlier too, maybe it's just because she was a new character, but the character of the Ash lady, Navi.
Varang.
Varang was her name. I'm amazed you remember that.
We looked it up like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, there you go. So her character, there were moments when there were close-ups of her that I felt like I could just reach through the screen and touch her. Like she looked so incredibly photorealistic that, again, nobody's making movies at that level. And the movie is huge. Again, as I just said, when I go see a movie, I want you to take me someplace, right?
Yes.
I got my own issues. I got my own problems. I want to forget about those for 2 hours.
Go to a world of blue people.
Or in this case, I want to forget about them for 3 hours and 17 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
But James Cameron does that. Literally takes us to a new planet, all this new tech, all these new, planes and toys and guns and all this stuff. It's just cool.
It seems like the story and the behind the scenes of the movies, to me at least, is much more compelling than the movie itself, which is a little troublesome if you're going to release a thing and make me watch 3 hours of your thing.
Yeah.
Give me something new here and there.
Yeah.
One of my, it's not really a complaint, but I found in this movie that the villains were actually the more compelling characters for me.
Yeah.
Because they've sort of done the family dynamics things, and you push this out, but like, the people that I was most interested in watching on screen were Varang and Quaritch.
Right.
They were more compelling. They had more to do. They were getting more new story as things moved along.
Yes.
Which again, if he's building out the 6 movies, like I
think 5.
six
I think
or 8,
5.
whatever.
It's supposed to be, in theory, he's doing Avatar 4 and 5.
4 and 5.
He says
Okay.
done, yeah.
So I guess they're gonna get their bigger arcs because and he's seems to be aware of this even in the movie itself. The story is shifting more towards Jake's kids. And the younger people in the world versus Jake and Neytiri.
Yeah.
So he's acknowledging it. So their arc is definitely wrapping up in this movie. So we'll see if we get the future stuff. But I would like to. Quaritch, man, they can't kill him. They literally can't kill him. I don't understand what's going on with that character.
They just keep putting him out in a different blue body every single time.
He really just ducks out of the end of this movie. He's like, well, peace
See you in the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you assume he's going to be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it was fun. It's great. It's good. Blockbuster cinema, if that's even its own
and here's
thing.
the proof: is on paper, I don't like 3D. On paper, I don't like high frame rate stuff. I think it looks weird and it looks goofy.
Yeah.
And yet, sitting in that theater, watching it in Dolby 3D with a high frame rate, it's spellbinding. It just
Yeah.
is. James Cameron is just able to do it in a way that other people just aren't. He's working at a much higher level. And
Yes.
that has to be respected. I
My
mean, he's
my biggest
literally-
complaint was that the glasses kind of started to hurt my ears.
Yeah. after
So
a while,
that's
they're not
really a
the most
note for the
comfy.
designers.
Yeah, just can we put some like foam pads
Yeah,
on the
put a
side?
little padding on there. Help our ears out.
Yeah, but like there is just nobody working at that level. He is literally inventing new technology
Yeah.
to make movies. So like the technology he's inventing for Avatar Fire and Ash, every filmmaker now is going to be using that for the next 10 years to catch up to what he's done.
Yeah, well, once they can afford it, I don't think we're all
So-
going to get the Disney money of that budget.
They're not necessarily movies that I feel like deserve to be rewatched over and over and over, but they are movies that I'm glad that they exist because they exist, others get to do other things with them, you know. So it
Very
was a
good
good
point.
year for movies, dude. It was people talk about the movie industry dying, and you know it certainly has its challenges, but there were more than enough great movies that came out this year that it's like, nah, we're back, baby. It's movies are just here to stay, you know.
It could possibly be the last year we have more than 2 studios making things in the world.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that a lot of good stuff got made. Movies are wonderful. It's a great experience sitting there in theaters and having something just wash over you. But let's take it back a little bit more, not to the Stone Age, but maybe to the printing press age.
to the Johann Gutenberg
Yes,
age.
the movable text type age. I was curious, what was your favorite book of 2025?
It's so interesting when we cobbled together these lists. I was certain that it was going to be a nonfiction book. I'd like to think I'm a pretty avid reader, but I generally read a lot more nonfiction than I consume fiction. I like to learn something when I read a book, right? So I read a lot of biographies and history books or whatever. But this year, when I was cobbling together my favorite books, that I was actually surprised that both my favorite and my honorable mention here are fiction books.
Nice.
So my honorable mention, and I think we've talked about this before, but I'm going to recommend it again because the book is so up your alley. I got to let you borrow my copy. One of my favorite authors is a guy named Christopher Moore,
Okay.
and he's a comedy writer. I mean, he writes these kind of zany, wacky stories. On one of the dust jackets for a book, someone described his writing style as if he takes a huff of nitrous oxide before he writes each page.
Okay.
And it's very much like that. So his latest book that came out earlier in the year is called Anima Rising.
Huh.
And it's set in the 1890s. And
Okay.
the main star of the book is Gustav Klimt, the painter,
All right.
who interacts with
Already dense.
but I mean it's a comedy book, but basically he's like struggling for inspiration, and this kind of pale woman washes up in the not the Thames River, but in Vienna off the shore, and it turns out to be the Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh.
And so he goes to
Curveball.
seek help from Sigmund Freud, his friend.
Ah, okay.
And they go off on this
This
wacky
is like a
adventure.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I mean, it's a comedy book, right?
Yeah.
So it's all these different things. His style is very irreverent, but it's also poignant. It's also very funny. So if you want a book where Sigmund Freud, Gustav Klimt, and the Bride of Frankenstein are major characters,
Okay.
then Anima Rising is the way to go. Very
I'm
funny. Like he for me personally, he's not a writer that you just kind of snicker at. I'm literally laughing out loud as I read a lot of his stuff. But he's been one of my favorite authors for a long, long time, and his latest book proves to me that he's still got it. He's very, very funny.
Well, that's awesome.
But that's my honorable mention. My favorite book of the year, because it took me by surprise, and I guess this is technically cheating a little bit as well, because I guess the book came out in 2024, the print edition. But I just read it earlier this year.
I'm going to throw it out.
Got to throw it out there. Yeah, I can't do it anymore. There is a book series that apparently a guy started writing this kind of like and publishing it online. And then it became such a rabid cult following that it's now kind of becoming a cultural phenomenon. But the book series and the first book is called Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Oh.
And they call it a literary RPG book. I'm not 100% sure how that, I mean, it very much reads like you're playing a video game. But basically the premise of the book is that this guy, Carl, is an ex-Coast Guard. And he's in an apartment with his ex-girlfriend's cat, whose name is Princess Donut. And aliens have invaded the Earth.
Oh.
They immediately like atomize every building. So like most of the world is just destroyed.
Okay.
And everybody who survives is forced underground into this 18-level dungeon that is being broadcast across the galaxy as like a competition show, like Survivor
okay.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Very early on, the cat like upgrades because it's like a video game, and she becomes sentient, so she can talk.
Okay.
So it's an 8-book series. The last book 8, is coming out this summer. It's summer of 2026. But I've read the first book, and now I'm like halfway through the second one. But it's such a fun read. It's such a funny, like the guy who writes it, his name is Matt Dinneman. very clever, you know what I mean? And it's a really, really fun read. It sounds weird to say it reads like a video game, but it does. There's a lot of like talks about like heads up displays and you know what they can see and talking in comms
But
channels.
it's not like a choose your own adventure sort of thing.
No, not at all. I mean, it's a book. You just turn the page.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But apparently, like he does, like the author, like it became such a cultural phenomenon that like he has like a Discord or something where he engages with fans, and it's like, what do you want to see in the next book? And so he's very involved with fans. There's apparently like super dedicated fans. You know, in the book, like apparently, like when Dungeon Crawl, when the whole thing happens, it's like 2:30 in the morning. So so Carl is essentially just wearing like these heart print boxers. And that's basically all he's wearing, like from the waist down. He doesn't have shoes. Like he gets knee pads eventually for
He doesn't have armor yet.
He doesn't have armor yet, but like it sounds wacky, but like it's really, really fun. And I was skeptical to read it, but when I finally did, I was like, why did I wait so long to check this out? Because it's really, really fun, dude. So
those are both awesome.
And if you love it, I mean, you've got 8 books to go. So it's a whole complete adventure. But yeah, Dungeon Crawler Carl is the name of the first book by Matt Dinniman. And it was my favorite because it caught me completely by surprise when I read it, how much I was just thoroughly enjoying it. I couldn't put it down.
Well, that's great. I'm very glad you've jumped more into fiction. I'm almost exclusively a reader of fiction if I'm going to read a book. I want to go through a story.
Yeah.
Biographies are fascinating, but I'd rather watch a documentary if I'm
Fair
going to do
enough.
somebody's
Fair
life.
enough.
What
was your favorite book then?
Well, my favorite book is actually a classic book. I go for rereads sometimes, and this is one of my favorite books of all time, which is Fahrenheit 451.
I've heard of it.
I've heard of it. It's the author is Ray Bradbury, a very talented short story science fiction writer. You know some of his other stuff. The Dandelion Wine is one that's very popular by him. The Martian Chronicles are also another very, very popular book by him. Bradbury is one of the greatest writers of all time, as far as I'm concerned. He's up there with Shakespeare in my brain, as far as master of story structure and just he can become compelling in 3 pages, and he can carry you through like 100,000 pages if you really want.
Yeah.
But Fahrenheit 451, if you're unfamiliar, is a dystopic sci-fi novel. It takes place in a future where firemen are actually responsible for burning.
There's never like a year given, right? Like an actual. It's
no,
not like
it's
2055.
Vague, distant future.
Okay.
It again was written in I want to say 60s. So it's kind of near future as far as the read goes. He was very, very good at predicting technological futures as far as smart TVs and all that stuff. There's a room in the book called a parlor where people are basically engaging in VR reality and sort of escaping from their lives.
Yeah.
It's very concerned with controlling thought and controlling information, which is weirdly on everybody's mind these
Yeah,
days.
wow. How relevant.
So I figured I'd give it a reread. But it is very, 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 very good. Again, story follows a gentleman named Guy Montag, who is a fireman who in this future is responsible for burning books and destroying information and keeping people essentially in the dark. But he begins to question this reality and begins to question, like, is this how life should be? Is this the world? Is this how the world should be? This is where some of the famous lines that you might have heard in the world of "We've always been at war with East Asia," which is a theme that's going on in the book. There is this ever-present ominous war that's always happening. Bombers are always flying overhead.
Yeah.
Occasionally you hear radio broadcasts of like, oh, we're fighting East Asia or we're fighting West Asia, and it kind of shifts throughout the book, and you see how groupthink can affect a culture that is uninformed and unknowledgeable on things. And throughout the course of the book, he sort of descends into rebellion. He starts smuggling books out. He starts reading books. He meets other people that are doing the same thing. One of the most compelling things, and what really caught me in this read through this time, I've read this book I don't know how many times at this point.
Yeah.
It's just good. It's good every time. So he meets a girl named Clarice McClellan, who is his neighbor, and she is oddly intelligent and oddly curious, something that their culture has sort of mined out of existence given their reduction of books and knowledge and just engagement in discourse. But during this read-through, there's a moment in the book where she disappears. There are disappearances mentioned throughout the book, and maybe it was the government, maybe people moved away. But in this read-through, I noticed that Montag's wife seems to know a great deal about what may or may not have happened to her. And there's a bit in the book where the only entertainment people get in life is to drive really, really fast in their weird future cars on the highway. So I'm pretty sure, as I read it this time, that Montag's wife hits the girl and doesn't tell anybody and just disappears her.
Interesting.
Because, the neighbors move away and they get captured by the government or whatever. But she has a number of lines that I've reread this time that she's like, I'm pretty sure she's gone. Maybe she got hit by a car, but I think something like maybe she moved away.
Yeah.
And like this time reading it, it hit me like
It jumped in a
bricks.
weird way.
Yes, and I literally started to cry while I was reading that moment because I'd never caught that before, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But yeah, as the book continues, he ends up escaping. There's obviously a further disaster in the world. But at the very end of the book, not to spoil it for anybody, it's still worth the read. Again,
It's
I've read
okay
it
to
30
spoil
times.
a book that's over 50
Yeah,
years
it's like
old.
50 years old. But it ends up being him in the woods, having escaped robotic hounds that were chasing him down, and after a presumably new nuclear war happens, it's him and a group of men in the woods, and these other gentlemen are other quote-unquote rebels, and he's introduced to each of them as famous works of literature. Because their whole purpose exists to memorize these books and keep the history alive.
Yeah, yeah.
So he meets one guy who's the Bible, another one's the Magna Carta, another one's all the works of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
It's just a really, really beautiful little moment at the end.
Oh,
and
man,
you
that'd
have
be the
hope
worst
for
to
the
be the
future.
guy who has to memorize all of Shakespeare.
This is William Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Hello, thee, thou.
Can I be the
How
short
art
story
ye?
guy? Can I do that
Short
one? Yeah.
Can I be Sports Illustrated?
Yeah, it's you know, I mean that's what great art does is that you can revisit it at different points in your life
It is
and it
truly
hits you a little
timeless.
bit different. I mean I've read Fahrenheit 451, you know, a couple of times. The last time I reread it was HBO did a like TV adaptation.
not
with,
even close.
Yeah, and it was with Michael Shannon and Michael B. Jordan, and it just didn't, for some reason or another, it just didn't really land. But before I watched it, I was like, I need to re-up on the book.
That one makes me angry. Because I like the book so much, and they whiffed so fucking hard on that translation of it. What they really did was found someone that actually liked 1984.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more of 1984 in that translation than the actual Fahrenheit 451.
Right.
All they wanted was a fireman is the thing they carried over, and then robotic dogs. Like that's the only things they kept, and then everything else they sort of threw out of the story, and it was very, very upsetting.
Oh, yeah.
There really is it's very, very old. There is a 60s adaptation of Fahrenheit 451 that is slightly closer to the book. Obviously, it's got its own foibles because of the time and place that it was made. But it's a much more closer translation than the actual HBO version. So, yeah, watch it because Michael B. Jordan and Michael Shannon are awesome.
But then read the book.
That has nothing to do with the book.
But then read
Barely has anything to do with the book.
Very good. Well, old or new, books still alive and well in 2025.
Hopefully it stays that way.
Let's turn our sights now to our ears.
Let's turn our eyes to our ears.
Let's turn our eyes to our ears. Very difficult.
Try that at home.
But I want to ask you, did you have a favorite record or favorite album that came out this year?
Favorite album. So there haven't been any albums that I've had, but there have been an artist that I came upon.
No, nice.
Unfortunately, they didn't release an album this year, so I can only point to a couple of their singles.
Singles. 7-inch singles.
Yeah, that's right. For all you record fans at home, you old school techie people. So my band of the year, I'm going to say, was a band called Hot and Freddy.
Hot and Freddy.
And I may be saying this incorrect because I'm originally from Texas, so I can't.
I mean,
I can't speak French words.
It's got to be Hot and Freddy because it's a play on Hot and Ready.
Yeah, it's Haute and Freddy spelled Freddy with a Y.
Hot. Yeah.
Haute and Freddy.
Yeah.
But the two songs that I've had on replay on my Spotify constantly have been Anti-Superstar and Scantily Clad. Both LPs. I think one of them came out this year. The other one may have come out in 2024. So forgive me cheating there again. They are a avant-garde pop synth band, I guess is how I would describe them.
Nice.
I just sort of made that up myself. I don't know if that's an actual genre, but it is now because I said it. And that's how music genres work as far as I'm aware. But they're a really cool band. They are a duo, a lady and a man. If I'm incorrect, forgive me. They can contact me and correct me.
Yeah.
But they do some really, really cool videos that I've seen. Some real garish, how do I describe it? Like Victorian era stylings and vaudevillian sort of cool style. And the songs are really fun. Anti-Superstar in particular is really fun. Some really cool themes going on there, talking about not being able to be everybody for everyone, but still embracing yourself.
Yeah.
And then Scantily Clad. I haven't quite figured out what Scantily Clad is about yet, but I do love to sing it over and over and over because it's got a very catchy tune, and that's kind of half the battle in music.
Yes.
So those are what I would say is my favorite band. Beyond that, it's going to be older albums for me, always revisiting RAM, Random Access Memories by Daft Punk. That's one that's really big.
Yeah.
Again, also timeless. I wanted to like the new Tron album with Trent Reznor.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to all of it yet, but
It's good.
That one song's good.
It's good. It's not Daft Punk.
No, I know.
It just isn't. It's, I mean, look,
Such a hard act to follow.
I love Nine Inch Nails, but that Tron Legacy score is an all-time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really is. That's tough. But yeah, Random Access Memory is always good. I'm always going to have a smattering of Dave Matthews sneaking in Before These Crowded Streets, probably one of my favorite Dave Matthews albums.
Nice.
Again, it's like 1997, so it wasn't really this
yeah.
year. I think it had an anniversary recently, so I can count that one if they did a re-release.
Yeah.
But that's my music taste is all over the place.
A little scattershot. Yeah.
Hard for me to pin down one
You're an
album.
eclectic connoisseur of music.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just like finding new music. My Spotify Wrapped is always crazy. However, I did get my actual age this year, because they did this thing this year on Spotify Wrapped where they were telling you your listening age.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were getting random years, but I got exactly my age, so I was like, I guess I'm doing it right according to Spotify.
Nice.
So,
I don't do the year wrap up thing because I usually find it embarrassing because I have Apple Music and it does the same thing, and it's like this, and it's like you listen to this song 846 times. I'm like, stop! Don't remind me of that. I'm embarrassed.
But you enjoyed every
True.
all
I
800
enjoyed
moments,
every
so why be
play of the song.
embarrassed?
Yeah.
It's more like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
I guess I do like that.
My favorite album of the year was from a gentleman by the name of Youngblood, who I was not familiar with, and then I guess through the algorithm, I just started seeing ads for him online, and he seems like this really genuine guy who really connects with his fans, and he's not he seems like he goes out of his way to make sure that every fan who comes to the show gets a chance to give him a high five or even a hug.
Okay.
He's just but he's this kind of he's British.
Okay.
Real
This
skinny.
isn't the guy that may or may not be Timothy Chalamet?
No, I don't believe it's not Timothy Chalamet. But he's got kind of a real, almost a little bit of a goth look to him. He's a big Ozzy Osbourne fan. He performed at that Ozzy Osbourne concert a couple of days before Ozzy Osbourne passed away. He sang a really great version of Changes. But he had an album come out this summer that was called Idols that I thought was really, really great. I mean, again, I went from knowing nothing about this guy to basically playing his album on repeat for a month solid. The standout track for me on the record is actually the first one. It's called Hello, Heaven, Hello. But there's other great tracks on that album as well. And I think he's just got an incredible voice. He seems like a pretty sincere dude. I like his style. Later in the year, he released a 5-song EP with Aerosmith.
Oh.
So it's him singing new songs with Aerosmith. That was pretty great too. I think the EP is called One More Time.
Okay.
Youngblood is spelled Youngblud.
Youngblood.
Yeah, exactly. But he's got a killer voice, and he seems like a legit Billy Idol style rock and roller. You know what I mean? And
All right.
He did a sold out tour in America, and I think because he did so many dates, and the shows are so intense, and he does these such long meet and greets that he had to cancel some of the last shows because his doctor was like, you are wearing yourself out. You got to let it, you know what I mean? But
literally killing himself for the fans.
Exactly. So, but check that album out. It's called Idols. You can't miss it because it's a black and white cover. It's just a him standing there kind of without a shirt. Seems to like to take his shirt off a lot, which, good for him. But the album is really, really great. And that was probably the one that if I were to pull up my Apple Music, it would probably tell me that was the #1 album I listened to this year. It's really good. Youngblood. Check him out.
Nice.
Yeah.
I will give him a checked out. Hold on. How do we get out of that, though?
So what?
How do we get out of that, though? Well, those are always great. Those are some great things to listen to. You can check them out. You should probably also chime in and tell us some of your favorite albums, listeners at home.
Yeah, what did we miss?
Yeah, what did we miss? What should I listen to since I'm bad at listening to newer music, I guess?
And as bad as you think you are, I'm even worse.
Give us some suggestions on music to listen to in this upcoming year, be it new people or old people or whatever you want, just so I can get some more albums on my list. And we might listen to a few while we go into our break. So we'll be right back.
See you in a bit.
Thank you for tuning into the show today. We just wanted to take a moment over this break to tell everyone how fortunate we are to get to record at the newsrooms. There's a lot of places you can film a podcast, but this far and away is one of the best ones for us to come to and do it at.
That's right. We're very lucky that we have the opportunity to record our podcast at multiple locations, but we choose to record it here because we love the vibe here. Nancy, the owner, is great. The creative co-working space here really promotes a really great vibe that's professional, and yet it's creative and inclusive, and it's just a fun place to record. It's a fun place to meet. Our guests love coming here as well.
And a wonderful wonderful community. They do mixers. They do all kinds of stuff to get you involved and integrated into the creative community that comes to Muserooms. So check them out at themuserooms.com. That's M-U-S-E for Muse.
So follow themuserooms.com for all the latest updates. If you want to reach out to Nancy and set up an appointment, please do so. And who knows, maybe we'll catch you there one day.
Maybe you'll be a guest with us at the Muserooms
Yeah,
someday.
that's right.
And now back to the show.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
So I want to move on to talking about our favorite TV show of the year. We're going to break the format of the show a little bit. We're not going to take turns because I am reasonably confident we have the same answer for our favorite TV show this year.
Yes.
So I'm going to count down from 3, and I want you to say your favorite TV show
Okay.
the same time I do. And we'll see if we have the same answer. We ready?
Gotcha.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Derry.
Yes, dude. Yes, man. Oh, I
It's
love
so
this
good.
show so much.
It's
It
so
was so
very
good. And for me, too, well documented on this show and in public forums. I am not a horror guy.
I know.
I'm a giant weenie when it comes to this stuff. I cannot stop watching Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise.
no,
he is. I mean, this performance.
I don't know
as
how many
Pennywise-
epissodes we waited, but I was
I think
like,
they-
is he on this one? Is he on this one?
Yeah. I think they literally. There's 8 episodes of the show, and I think they literally
4.
wait till episode 5.
Yeah.
He shows up at the very, very end of 4, and then like 5 on, he's in the show.
Because then he just takes it over.
But he takes it over. But like, dude, I mean, instantly iconic. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it is kind of like a Daniel Day-Lewis, like Daniel Plainview, or Heath Ledger Joker, or or like Al Pacino Godfather, Michael Corleone,
Yes.
where you're just like, you were definitely, or like Michael Corleone, Al Pacino, where it's just like, dude, you were born to play this role, and now.
Instantly a classic performance.
No offense to the
Instantly
great Tim
forever.
Curry. No offense. But I want Bill Skarsgård to play this character. I mean, he's so good in this show. He's amazing in this show. But I mean,
And the show itself is good.
the show is good. I love the writing of it.
If
Like,
you're a Stephen King fan, it is very much a spiritual successor to that style of writing, style of storytelling, and just the thematic elements from all of his books kind of trickle into this show.
Yeah.
It's done so very well, like the world that Andy Muschietti has built.
Yeah.
And explored and expanded on even beyond King's original writing. It's good. It's really good. That's the best review I can give of it. Is that every week I was excited to turn on my TV and watch that show and see how they were going to terrify me next, or haunt the world, or bring up some morbid, awful thing and make me just be on the edge of my seat and be like, yeah,
yeah.
horrible stuff is
Yeah,
happening.
Get him, Pennywise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, you are kind of rooting for him throughout the show.
A little bit. You kind of are a little bit, but like, yeah, I mean, like, you're right. In 2025, there really isn't such a thing as appointment television anymore. But this show was the closest I got where it was like every Sunday, because Angela doesn't watch it because she was like, no, she's like, that's too creepy for me. But every night, like every Sunday night, it was like, all right, I'm going to bed. I was like, good.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's fire this up. Let's go. Like, I just could not wait to watch this
One
show.
of the few shows also where I was like, every episode should probably just be 2 hours. Like, just give me 2 hours of this.
Yes.
Give me 8 movies of this.
For the record, if you're unfamiliar with the show, it is, I mean, it's based off of the world of Stephen King's It, but we are in uncharted territory here. This is not directly pulling from a book. It's kind of new characters, expanding the lore.
It is considered a prequel.
Yes. And I think one of the most brilliant things that I didn't click for me until the 2nd or 3rd episode. And then I was like, was that one of the major characters is Dick Hanlon, who is Scatman Carruthers in The Shining. Exactly. So that character makes a comeback, and he kind of has a connection because he can type in, he can kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? He can kind of tap into the psychic and the paranormal.
Yes.
He has a connection with Pennywise that other characters don't.
He has the shine.
He's got the shining, boy.
He's got the shine.
Yeah, and so like the actor who played him was incredible. I mean, just a great performance from him. I mean, everybody on the show was great. The Hallorans, like the family, were great. James Remar shows up. Always good to see him. And here's the thing too is because it can go one way or the other. I thought all of the child actors were incredible. They were just fantastic.
They were all good.
And
the show did a really great job of maintaining that everybody was always in danger. There wasn't really, it didn't feel like there was plot armor for everybody.
Yes.
And even now that how did the season ends? I believe a child is still captured. Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Again, we're in spoiler territory now for the show. So,
I'm sorry. No.
Skip ahead a couple minutes if you don't want the show spoiled for you. But yeah, I mean,
Never mind.
Yeah,
I remember
the
how
kids
it actually
survive. Yeah, exactly, for the most part, except for the one kid,
Richie,
who sacrifices himself, right, to for safety.
One of the coolest moments where he sprints by and flips the bird,
and flips off Pennywise in an act of defiance to help his friend save the day.
It was fantastic,
dude. So great. Plus, the other thing I also loved. Like that they did a really awesome and frankly terrifying update to his costume where from basically I think it's episode 6 onward, he it's like it's like he was almost done with his reign of terror,
Yes.
right? Which happens like every 27 years. And then he like goes back and he's like just about to settle back into like, I'm sleeping. So he's
into
in this like
hibernation.
massive pool of blood, basically.
Yeah, of all his victims.
And then when he comes back up, basically from the mouth down, he's just soaked in like dark maroon blood.
Yeah.
So his costume is red, is like half his face. It looks very like tribal
he's
warfare.
in boss mode.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's, oh my God, I loved this show. It looked great. I mean, it's a show that also, like, I don't know what the show cost, but it looks like every penny of that budget went on screen.
They are spending it well. They're doing very, very, very good job with that show.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I'm also excited for the future of the show because apparently it's going to be moving back in time, and we're going to get some past occurrences of Pennywise.
Yeah.
Because if you're unfamiliar with the story of it, in the movie, he reaches a conclusion, I guess. I'm not going to say he's truly killed, but his physical form on this earth is destroyed. And again, I'm not going to go into the deep Stephen King lore of he is the deadlights.
Because it gets a little murky and confusing.
He
And
can't ever really be destroyed, and he sort of exists out of time and space. But
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes, his story gets wrapped up in the movie.
Yeah.
So we're moving back in time. We pick up with Pennywise in the 60s is where our main timeline occurs, and we jump back to, I think, the 30s as the series goes on and learn a little bit more of his history. And
That's
more,
what the rumor is, right? Because
Yeah.
in the Stephen in the It lore, he like slumbers for 27 years,
Yes.
and then every 27 years he kind of comes out for a period of time. I
Causes
imagine maybe a
terror.
few months or a year or something, causes terror and then goes back to it. So I think other seasons of the show are going to go further back in time. But I'm here for it, man. Put it in my eyes right now. Like, I
really
need
good.
it.
I'm curious if we get far enough back to where I guess on this season we learned that one of his first iterations was just essentially like a Jabberwocky or just like this crazy amalgamation of all the most horrible things in nature.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious if our final season is just a straight up like monster movie for
Yeah.
however many episodes of this.
Part of
terror
me
in the
though is
woods.
like I don't want that because I still just want
No?
Bill Skarsgård as the clown, you know. But God, I love that show, man. It was I'm with you, dude. Every Sunday night when it was on 8 episodes, I was like, I cannot wait to watch
good
this.
writing. One of the best intros of a show
that
ever.
song is a bop, dude. It's a bop, as the kids say. It was such a good, you know.
They had so much fun creating that intro and teasing all potential future storylines and stuff that we got in the show. It was just so much fun.
Was just
You could tell even in some of the scenes and like some of the scary moments that the crew that they had and their art teams and their special effects teams were clearly just like going all out and giving you the most crazy, compelling stuff I've ever seen on a show for a very long time. Especially in the horror genre, that's really underappreciated sort of TV world to explore beyond The Walking Dead, which went on for 47 years, however long that went on.
Did you ever finish that show?
No, honestly.
I quit after the Negan season. A friend of mine said to me,
I wasn't even that into it then. Honestly, I was sort of jumped out of that show as far as being excited about it after Frank Darabont left.
Yeah.
Because he was sort of the originator, and after he was gone and the other two creators sort of took over, it got a little less compelling for me.
Yeah.
It seemed like they weren't willing to take the same level of risk, especially as not as much as the comic took with characters and stuff, and sort of people were just. I think we were left with Carol and Daryl for the last like 9 seasons. There was just nothing that could kill them.
Yeah.
So that sort of bored me. Like, it's a zombie apocalypse. We know like it's very unlikely you're going to survive for that or however many years.
Yeah.
Unless you're in the 28 Days Later series, and then it goes on forever and ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one didn't stick around for all of those. I watched a little bit of Fear the Walking Dead just because I thought new cast, new people, new environment. And the start of that was cool of seeing the collapse happen.
Yeah.
And then I sort of bailed out once it got back to people wandering around the woods.
A friend of mine who's a pretty accomplished writer said to me, he said, "Yeah, he goes, I don't foresee a conclusion to that show that will feel satisfying in any way." And after he said that, it like that percolated in my brain for a while. And I was like, he's right. And so I think after the Negan season,
Well, it's
I was
either
like, I'm good. I'm done with this.
if you're dealing with a zombie scenario, it's either everybody dies,
Right.
because you can't fight nature,
Or
and-
eventually you run out of zombies.
yeah, or they just decompose and fall apart. So it gets really hard to not explain why people are still wandering around.
Why is there still mass hordes of 10,000
Yeah.
zombies running around? Like after a year or two, that would probably
Decomposition
fade
is a
out.
thing.
Yeah.
Like even 28 years later acknowledged that a little bit with some of
Yeah.
the zombies starving to death or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, zombie world is a little hard to carry on for too terribly long. But you know, almost omnipresent extra dimensional terror that is a shapeshifter, that works very well,
Yeah, I was
apparently.
gonna say, you know, wouldn't be freaked out by zombies? Pennywise.
That's right. Like, what's going on?
All right, well, good. Welcome to Dairy. Huge recommend. 4 thumbs up
Watch it.
from the host
Yeah.
of 2 Drink Maximum.
4 shape-shifting bloody thumbs up. So, in reviewing our favorite media of the year, essentially is what we're doing. One very important component of media is news and
right.
politics and just general goings on of the world. It's not usually as entertaining as you'd like it to be. Sometimes it's frightening, sometimes it's fun. But we wanted to go over and figure out our favorite headlines of 2025 is what we're going for here. So I'll start. So one of my favorite headlines kind of circles back to our discussion on music.
Yes.
So it turns out during this year, the Grammys and a team of neurologists identified the perfect pop song. So first, I'm going to ask you, what do you think it is?
Probably "Baby One More Time" by Britney Spears.
Maybe one more time, Britney. Good choice, but that is not it. So it turns out the Grammys and a neurologist by the name of Dr. David Popel, through their study and interview with fans and music listeners across the globe, decided that Toto's Africa is actually the perfect pop song.
Well, first off, problem number one, that's not a pop song. That's yacht rock. That was definitively covered in the yacht rock documentary. But okay, why did they say that it was the perfect pop song?
So they go on to say that opinions sort of mattered. Some people had different reasons for liking it. It depends on where you came from, how you grew up. They said it has a kind of groove. People love the timing of it, the rhythm of it. So it's a very, very successful song, that's for sure. Whether it's best, who the hell knows? I guess the doctor sort of reneged on his statement there. But mainly they said it just is something that they've found is compelling for people. I know you've been in public and this song has come on and people have sang it. People love to sing along and clap along to Africa.
Yes.
I think Weezer did a cover of it, I believe.
They did, yeah.
I don't know if that was this year.
I mean, the power of the song is undeniable. Like when that chorus kicks in,
Yeah.
I don't care who you are, you're singing along to it.
It's up there with "Don't Stop Believing" as far as the karaoke list go. I believe. So obviously it's got some staying power.
Yeah.
I don't know anything else Toto has ever done.
Well, and that's a funny story because they cover this in the yacht rock documentary. Every single member of the band, except for one, did not want to put that song on the record. They just didn't believe in it. They were like, I don't know, we don't like this song all that much. And one member of the band was like, no. Like this is going on so it literally is the last song on this record.
That's
so it's
funny.
the very last song on the B side of the record. And now it is the song that is the defining song of Toto, the band.
It's up there. It works.
I still know. And the funny thing too is in the documentary, they finally asked the singer who wrote it, like what it's about. He still is cagey. He doesn't really like talking about it, but
about
he
the
said
rains.
Well, but he said he
Africa.
kind of dismissed them, but then he said like, well, it's just about like I love to travel, and it's like,
Oh,
okay, I'm going to need a little bit more of an answer than that. But
who's it going to take a lot for him to drag away from? That's the question.
I don't
It's going
know.
to take a lot for to drag me away from you. Who's you?
I don't know. Whoever's not in Africa.
If it's another Dave Coulier.
It's
If you're familiar with Alanis
Morissette. Yeah.
Better be somebody important. Not the Dave Coulier. Forgive me, Dave Coulier. I apologize. How about you? What was your top headline of 2025?
My favorite headline, the most eye-popping headline that I saw this year, and it's a short news story. I'm going to read it, but I think you're familiar with it. The headline was "Trashed Panda, Drunk Raccoon Found on Bathroom Floor After Liquor Store Rampage."
I am familiar.
From early December of 2025. When a Virginia store liquor employee showed up to work on Saturday, they were shocked to find shattered whiskey bottles strewn across the shop of the floor, shards of soaking glass, and puddles of booze, and an unlikely suspect, an intoxicated raccoon, splayed on its stomach in the bathroom.
That's amazing.
An officer who works at the local animal control, having been determined that the U.S. Thanksgiving break-in was not the work of a human, said after falling through the ceiling, the little critter threw caution to the wind and drank itself silly, knocking bottles out of the shelves before stumbling into a toilet stall and passing out. We'll put the picture on social media, but I don't think we need to. You've seen this picture. It was everywhere. Yeah. But this cute little panda, I mean, clearly caused havoc in this store.
He's a raccoon.
It's a panda. Well, trash panda. This little raccoon caused so much damage. Went for bottom shelf scotch, which, I've been there too. Sometimes times are tight.
Yeah.
But just drank itself stupid and then just passed out, splayed all fours just out on the bathroom floor. Who hasn't been there in their early 20s?
That is
you know what I
wild.
mean? Everyone's been there, but this cute little raccoon just overdid it one night at a liquor store. Had the best night of his life.
What do you do if you're the person that finds that? First, you walk
Take
in
a picture.
And go, oh, no.
Yeah,
You think somebody's broken in.
Yeah.
And then I guess you're sort of relieved.
Because if you're the person who finds it, there is a 30 second, 30 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but 30 seconds where you're in your head, you're alone, and you're going, did this happen?
Did it really?
Did a raccoon break in here, Ocean's 11 style, from the ceiling
From the ceiling to steal.
to steal, and then drank itself stupid and passed out in the bathroom. Didn't even escape the scene of the crime.
Didn't have an exit strategy.
Yeah. Now, post follow-up to the story, the raccoon was picked up by animal security. It was treated. It was fine. It was a little hungover,
sent
apparently.
to a program.
It was like AAA for raccoons, or AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. But like, apparently it was fine. It recovered. It was released back into the wild. But like, that raccoon is going to tell all his raccoon buddies like the best story. Guys, you wouldn't even believe it.
You ever heard of this stuff? It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh God, that was my favorite news story. I remember when that came out, I just could not stop chuckling about that for days afterwards. So that was probably my favorite wacky headline of the year.
I mean, if you get the raccoon to listen to Africa, it's going to have an even better night. So
yeah,
science dictates.
He was probably listening to Africa, singing along. I bet the song came on through the speakers, and he was like, "Yeah,
keep
the
it going,
in Africa,
party all night." And then he didn't quite make it.
Didn't quite make it till midnight anyway.
Poor little raccoon.
Poor little guy. Yeah.
Let's hope every news story ends up as lighthearted as those things.
So moving on a little bit, I wanted to ask you, what do you think is the defining moment or thing of 2025?
A defining moment of 2025.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I mean, this story also made the news. It's relevant in politics. There was, I believe it was Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of the moments where the National Guard had moved in, or ICE had moved in and been doing things. And in a beautiful act of defiance, a man threw a sandwich at one of the soldiers, struck him with the sandwich.
Subway sandwich.
Foot
long.
Court reporting saying the man was, or the struck E was horrified as he was splashed with mustard and condiments and lettuce showering across his gear. Truly horrible for that man, apparently. But that individual did end up getting arrested and did end up getting charged. However, thanks to the beautiful thing called jury nullification, this person was set free, and his act of hoagie defiance was declared not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite
not a
moment of
legal
24.
thing,
Yeah. Because good for that guy.
Yeah.
Like revolution by sandwich. Yes, let's do that. That's how it should always go.
No, I mean, I think that is my what I think the history books will remember about 2025 is a two-sided coin. Is as you kind of mentioned, I think images and videos that we've seen of the National Guard and ICE terrorizing our streets was, I mean, it's a scary thing to see. It's a scary thing to get out there and to watch. And I think that kind of, that kind of terrifying image will stick with us longer than we can remember. But I think the flip side of that coin is seeing hundreds of thousands of people flood the streets for the No Kings protest, and standing up and saying this is not okay, and that this is not the America that we want to live in. I think that those two defining moments of ICE in the streets and the No Kings protests in the streets, those will be the defining moments that the history books will remember of 2025.
Seeing people champion the tenets of democracy beyond all whatever compelling evidence that it's no longer the primary concern of a lot of people in the world.
Right.
That's certainly been beautiful to see in 2025. So there is a long way to go. And to add on to that, I hope that motivates a lot of people to vote. Like, I love protests and I love acts of civil rebellion. Not civil rebellion. Let's not call it that. Acts of civil disobedience. Let's call it that. Nonviolent revolution.
Yes.
That's the way to go for all things. And the most nonviolent thing you can do is to vote.
Yes.
So take whatever stance you want in the world. One of my big things I like to tell people, please go vote. Vote in every election that exists. Get yourself registered. Vote early and vote often, but not often to where it's illegal. But vote in any election you can, because even, at least for me, even if what comes out of that voting is not what I thought or expected or hoped would come, at least everybody was involved in the process, and you have the true voice of the people making decisions for everybody.
Yeah.
So I hope that continues to happen and continues to grow going into 2026.
You and I are on the same page. I do not necessarily even feel like it is your right to vote as an American citizen. It is your civic duty to vote. And so please go vote. Please get involved. And if something is in your belly saying this is wrong, you have a duty to stand up and do something about it. So please be safe out there, everybody. It is kind of a scary time out there, but I think we will get through it together.
It is. We've gone through all kinds of things as a nation, and there's no reason that 2026 isn't going to be just as upsetting to its own degree and confusing and frightening. But you have the power to step in that little booth and check a little box and make a decision that will hopefully affect people in the future. Because one of the saddest things in the world is that a vast majority of this nation does not engage in the political process. Right. Totally get it. Shit's fucked up everywhere. It looks bad from the outside all the time. But that's because a lot of people don't engage, and the systems are built to make you become disaffected, make you not be engaged, and make you not want to do those things. So again, one of the simplest, easiest acts of defiance you can do is to go actually vote.
Yes.
So please do that. I don't really care you can have the fun social media moment where you post a little sticker, I voted, like that's fun. That's something that people always do. You can bitch bet all you want online, but if you didn't engage in the process, I don't care.
Yeah.
So that's my big statement.
Democracy is not a spectator sport.
Yeah.
You know, you have to get involved. Get up, get involved, go do something. To quote President Obama, don't boo, vote.
There you go. Oh, man. We miss him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for our final category, we're going to circle back to this show itself.
Fitting.
Yeah, right, makes sense. It seems congruent
On brand,
what we're doing.
as they say.
So we wanted to ask ourselves, what was our favorite episode of this past season? So Shane, I'll kick it to you first. What was your favorite 2025 episode of Two Drink Maximum?
You know, my favorite episode that we recorded this season was probably episode 2, Dream a Little Dream, where we sat down and got a chance to talk to Joshua Brownfin, who was the creator of the Dreamer, which is a sleep aid machine that is meant for infants and for babies and toddlers. It was just really inspiring to hear his story that he saw a problem in the market and through sheer will and determination and grit built a product that solved that problem in the market, and it is now putting it out there. I mean, I think we can all learn a lot from his example of, you know, don't be the problem, be the solution, right? He saw a problem and he became the solution. So discussing that with him was really inspiring to me, and I hope we get more guests like that in the future as well, where it's like they actually went out and did something about it, and I thought his story was really cool.
Yeah, it was very. I remember that it was very fascinating, the science behind his entrepreneurship. It was a fantastic episode. I enjoyed that one as well.
What about you, dude? What was your favorite episode that we recorded this season?
I guess for me this season, I'm going to bend the rules a little. I got to go with 2 because really they're a pair of guests that we had. One was Ty McGowan, who talked about his experience being a camp counselor.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. I didn't get to experience a whole lot of summer camp growing up, so that was cool to understand the inside track on that and what it's like and how he tries to motivate the kids to grow and learn from that experience. And then, of course, his partner on the Rankings podcast that they do, Danny Weiser, talking about property management.
Yeah.
Which was a fascinating look at the other side of the renter's world. And it was really awesome to hear him talk about how he tries to help people out and what they look for in a good and bad renter. It was just really interesting. And the fact that I remember him wanting regulations more on landlords.
Yeah.
That was a really funny thing.
Just
because he knew from experience, like what was good and what was bad.
Yeah, dude. And interestingly enough, both of those gentlemen were convinced that they were like, you want us on the show? This will be pretty boring. And I think I'm proud to say we proved them both wrong.
Right.
But I thought both of those episodes were fascinating because
Everybody's
it was kind of a behind the scenes look at stuff that you're aware of. You know, of camp counselors, you know, of property management, but do you know how all that stuff works? And I feel like we have a better understanding of both of those now, thanks to them coming on the show.
It is always cool to get to talk to people inside the industry and inside the media world, and movie stars, actors, directors, all those people. But finding the average human on the street and learning about their experience is one of the really great parts about getting to do the show.
Yeah.
We're all experiencing the same struggles. We all have the same goals. We all have the same hopes.
Yeah.
That's something that I continue to learn throughout all of our episodes. And just the great common denominator of the human experience and what it's like being a person in the world and trying to make your own way in whatever you're doing and following your passions and doing all that stuff. So I hope that's something people can get from our show and something that people can carry into 2026 to be inspired and to learn from themselves and grow as a human this year. That's part of what New Year's enabled us to do, I guess, is to grow a little bit and become a little better than we were last year.
Let me ask a follow-up question. So now we know our favorite episodes. Did you have a favorite beverage this year?
My favorite beverage?
Mine was from Damien Tufero's episode, that espresso martini that he created that had tequila in it. That was just kind of a weird concoction of stuff, but that kind of blended perfectly. It was unique, it was tasty, and it gave you a bit of a zip, because there was coffee in it. That was kind of weird and unique in a good way, and that was probably my favorite new drink. I've ended up having a couple of those when I've been out ever since he introduced it. So that was my favorite cocktail. What was your favorite beverage of the show this season?
Always a fan of coffee sneaking into things, so that's always good. My favorite beverage,
or I think you should say, I'm always a fan of booze sneaking into coffee.
Probably the other way. I like coffee. Coffee's the front runner for me for most things. It keeps me alive and keeps my days going. I would say my favorite probably was the hard kombucha we had on the previous episode here.
Yeah.
I have not had a lot of kombucha in life. And so that one was actually really delicious. I can imagine it being very, very good when it's not cold and rainy outside.
As I said on the show, kombuchas have this kind of way of being medicinal tasting. So kombuchas can kind of go one way or the other.
Yeah, that one did not have that.
It was very tasty. It was delicious. And so, so thanks to Sherman Augustus for introducing us to that as well. Still, the last time I was at Whole Foods, I still couldn't find it.
No?
Still hard to find. That
Gone.
flavor. Now, the brand is everywhere, but that one
Gotcha.
flavor, the spicy margarita, is still hard to find. But
I don't know. I guess
keep your eyes peeled. It's in the green box out there, everybody.
it's the rare Pokemon card of the hard kombucha world.
Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for us here on this season of Two Drink Maximum. We are excited to announce that we will certainly be back for season 5.
Chase and Shane will return at Avengers Doomsday.
That's right. We will be back at Avengers Doomsday. You don't have to wait that long to hear from us for Avengers Doomsday.
No. It's much shorter than a year.
Yeah, much shorter than a year. But we are playing it a little close to the chest in terms of who guests we have coming up for the new season and also in terms of season launch date. But rest assured that we will be back with some fun episodes, some episodes that we think are informative and engaging. And so stay tuned because we will be back.
And as always, you can reach out to us and give us some guest suggestions. We always like that.
Absolutely.
We always want to know what you want to hear. So yeah, hit us up on Instagram. Hit us up on if you have our email or whatever that's available on Instagram as well. We have a Facebook page. You can follow us and engage and tell us what you want to hear. If you think you would be a good guest, make your case. We might call you up. We might have a Zoom.
Yeah.
You don't have to be local to Los Angeles to talk to us. And we would love to really get some cool guest lists built for this coming season.
Absolutely. So as we wrap it up here, I think I just wanted to extend a heartfelt thank you from both Chase and I. Thank you for listening to this season. Thank you for engaging with us. We hope that you enjoy listening to the show as much as we enjoy making the show for you. And, we will see you again in season 5.
Yeah, see you in season 5. As always, thank you to our sponsor, The Muse Rooms. You can find them at The Muse Rooms on Instagram. That's MUSE for Muse. You can also go to themuserooms.com. They have been our sponsor from the very beginning, and it's really great. I mean, you just heard a bumper about how awesome they were.
Yes.
But
thank you, Nancy,
fantastic.
as always.
Thank you to Nancy. Thank you for another wonderful year. Thank you to all our special guests, and our special thanks also extend to our sound recordist or our sound engineer who helps us occasionally, David Franklin.
Yes,
at the Sound Musician Dave there on Instagram. You can also follow us on Instagram at TwoDrinkMaximum, which is TWODRINKMAXIMUM.
There it is. You're a pro now.
Someday we're gonna have a contest where I make other people spell that.
Yeah.
It's like the Big Mac thing where you had to sing the Big Mac song. Oh, that's really old.
Wow, you just dated yourself there, yeah.
I wasn't even alive when that happened.
Yeah. Sure you weren't, buddy.
It was like 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, please keep up with us. Follow us online. We will have updates as the new season comes out, and we're looking forward to another great season coming up.
So until we see you again in season 5, cheers.